Hi guys, happy Rare Disease Day 2022. So I'm so thrilled to be here today to give you an insight about the kind of research we're doing at our department. I'm working at the Department of Genetics in the Danish Epilepsy Center. So what is it that we're doing? Well, we're trying to understand and cure rare genetic epilepsy. So that's basically what we're trying to do. So let me give you an insight about what it is. So this is our epilepsy hospital located here in the eastern part of Denmark. So at the hospital, we have both a pediatric and an adult neurology department. And we also have a large epilepsy genetics department where we are very dedicated in working with genetics and personalized medicine. So we always start with the patients. We do genetic testing in blood, and when or if we find a mutation that could be interesting, for example, mutation that codes for an ion channel, we want to pursue this further to understand how the mutation causes symptoms in a human being. So we do this by collaborating. And we have a lot of people that we work with both in Denmark and outside Denmark. And together we can do functional testing in cell models. So we induce the mutation in a cell model and measure what's happening. We can also do the same in animal models. So we might have a mouse where the gene is defective and we measure what's happening with the mouse. Is it seizuring? How is it behaving? So once we understand what's going on with the pathomechanism, so the thing that is causing the symptoms, we can start thinking about targeted therapies based on the genetics. And we can discover or repurpose drugs and give them to the patients. So that's basically the loop that we're working within. This is another way of thinking about it. So in the middle, we have the patient with neurodevelopmental impairment, epilepsies, etc. And what do we do? So we're very good at doing clinical phenotyping. So we look very clearly, very carefully at the symptoms that the patients have. We do genetic testing. We try to functionally characterize the variants that we find in pupil. We try to link between the mutation that we found in a human being and the symptoms that the patient has. So is there what we call a genotype-phenotype correlation? We do a lot of collaboration both with other centers. We work with patient organizations and we work with medical companies. And in the end, what we want to bring is an understanding and a cure for these neurodevelopmental disorders. Another thing that we're also working with is creating different online available portals. So as you might know, there's a lot of rare disorders out there, and knowledge about these rare disorders might be scattered all around the internet. So what we have done in close collaboration with other teams, so this is a team effort, is we've created different portals for different genetic disorders. And in these portals, families, physicians, researchers can gain access to all the data they need. They can read about the symptoms, read about the underlying genetic factors. You might be a physician and have a patient with a mutation in a given gene, and you don't know whether this gene is actually disease causing, and you can type in the mutation from your patient in this portal, and the portal can help you and predict whether the variant is disease causing or not. So it's really a great tool. So finally, I want to give you an insight about what we're trying to do in the next couple of years. We are currently very interested in GRIA-related disorders. So GRIA is a gene that is very important for the development of the brain. But little is known about the symptoms that patients with GRIA-related disorders have. We know they have neurodevelopmental disorders, epilepsy, cognitive impairment, and so on, but we want to understand it much better. So we have a database. So this is a a call for all families or researchers that know of patients with GRIA-related disorders. Go to this webpage, and if you like, share clinical data with us. Once we have the clinical data, once we know the mutations in the human beings, we will be able to do functional characterization of the mutations, so we can find out whether or not the mutations is actually causing a phenotype or not. We can try to identify links between the mutations and the symptoms. We will make families ready for clinical trials, and we will also do natural history studies in these rare disorders. So that was all I had for today. Thank you very much for listening.